Well, hello, everybody. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, I'm very excited to be as helpful as I possibly can. Um, Being involved in government and in politics is something that I think is important, but it's also really rewarding if you find the niche that you can identify as something that's really meaningful to you. So I'm happy to help out in any way I can.
Great. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
So, just to kick it off, our first question of the day is, what has your career in public service been like, and why did you choose this path?
Well, I have been involved in positions that are, I guess, considered public service ever since I got out of college. And I went into graduate school and I was a dean of students. And I did that. I enjoyed academia. I enjoyed the challenge of working in a college level, but I still wanted something a little more, a little deeper. So I went into philanthropy, and the area of the foundation that I worked for was northern Wisconsin. And so, in reviewing grants and in getting to know the applicants and the different things that they were hoping to get funded, I really got to know these communities. And I realized that not only do I like to listen, but I like to solve problems. I really love to solve problems. I love to pull problems apart and sort of figure them out by looking at all their components. And I'm very reticent to go straight to a solution. I want to do this preliminary work, which usually means you got to really understand the people, you got to understand the issue, and it that just the work of doing that part of it was extremely rewarding because I got to know so many people, and you understand their lives by just being with them. If the problem is 3-year-old kindergarten or something and we don't have it and we need it, and it's finding out why 3-year-old kindergarten. I mean, do you just want it? And then it's no, because I have to go back to work, and we don't have daycare here. So if we had 3-year-old kindergarten, it would be wonderful. And so you dig in and you find out what's the background of it. And the people will tell you, they won't necessarily know that they're giving you the answers, but they share things about their problems or their circumstances, and then you really get to know what's behind it and how do you rebuild all of these components back into a solution. And so then at one point somebody said, you just got to run for office because you'd love it. And I didn't think I would, but I ran for city council. And that was much later. I mean, I didn't run for city council in Ashland up here on Lake Superior until I was in my 50s, early 50s. And then in 2010, I ran for assembly, and that was very interesting, but it's good work. It is good, important, real honest work that I think real honest people should be doing. And you should be doing it because you want to serve and not because you want power.
Yeah, it's really a really powerful statement, I think, to go because you want to help people instead of,
Mhm.
power. So that's really strong. And I feel like that resonates with a lot of like elected officials that we have right now and had in the
Mhm.
past. So
Mhm.
thank you. Our next question is, what has been the most challenging part of your job, and vice versa? What's the most rewarding?
Actually, it's almost the same thing. It is the same thing. And it's having a district that's purple. So I have very, very close to 50-50 Democrats and Republicans in my district. So it is very hard to I can't please them all, but I can try to understand them all. So in order to get elected, I can't be extreme on either end. I mean, I'm a Democrat, so I would tend to be way liberal, but I can't. I mean, I can't. If I was extremely liberal, and came right out of the gate, talking about the flashpoint issues that drive Republicans crazy, I wouldn't get elected. I wouldn't get elected. I don't have enough extremely liberal Democrats in my district, maybe 20%. You know, the rest are kind of here, and then there's 20% extremely radical Republicans, you know, truly extremely conservative Republicans. But in the middle, there's 60% of the people who are, you know, they just want somebody reasonable. So I have to thread the needle on some pretty tough issues. For example, we have strong environmentalists. I have 6 tribes in my district. The protection of water is critical, and we have a pipeline that runs right through this, you know, the northern part of Wisconsin, and they have to fix it. They have to repair it. So, you know, on one hand, we have extreme environmentalists who want the pipeline gone, you know, don't fix it, get it out of here. And then there's other people who are extremely pro fossil fuel, don't believe in climate change, believe that all of this is a hoax, and you know, those other people are crazy, and they, you know, they shouldn't be slowing down progress, and they're gonna wreck the economy, you know. And so I've got to figure out, what do I do? You know, how do I thread that needle? So that's hard. It's very hard. But the other thing about it is that it's good because it makes me a good legislator. Because when I go to Madison and I see a particular issue, I can talk about all sides of it because it's in my district. And so when I talk to the caucus, that's all of the people in my district, excuse me, that are Democrats in the Senate, and we're talking about a bill, and they don't understand why I'm going to vote no or why I'm going to vote yes. And I'm able to explain it to them in a way where they said, you know, I all of my people think it's great or it's all wrong or something. They're so, it's so clear to them because they are in a Democratic seat. If you're in Madison and you're lucky enough to get elected to the Assembly or the Senate, you could have that seat for life. I mean, for life. You barely have to campaign. You barely have opponents. You rarely, I mean, I have some colleagues, nobody runs against them because the seat is so solidly Democrat. I don't have that luxury. I have to fight. I mean, I have to fight. I won 52% of the vote last time. And that was good. That was, you know, some people have been closer than that. But having to learn how to get all of those values together. But I like having a purple district because, again, it makes me examine the issues fully.
And so similarly, how are you working to make the government more accessible to people it hasn't been in the past?
That's a very, very good question because it's hard. There are people who don't even know that I'm their senator. They think I'm Tammy Baldwin, you know, because I'm a senator and I have this color hair. And I go, thanks, you know, I'm not Tammy Baldwin. She goes to Washington and I go to Madison, and they, oh, okay. Why do you go? Because we have the whole legislature right in the state. You know, there are laws that are made in the state, many, many laws. I say, how old when you drink, how many miles per hour can you go, how old when you go to school, all kinds of things about how much power does a county have? How much money are you going to give to this program? I said, that's all state. That's all state. And people get elected to do it. So I think number one, we must not be impressing upon students in, I believe it's 4th grade, when they learn about state government, because it must go straight in, and because they forget. I mean, I can't tell you how many people don't know that there's a state government. They know the governor, but it doesn't occur to them that there's a state assembly and a state senate, just like in Washington. But once I do that, once I let them know, they're very interested in, well, what can you do about? And so I think under normal times, the best way is to literally see them and have them see me. And even if it's not about a problem, or even if they know that I might disagree with them, I want them to know that I am a state senator and it's my job to represent you. That's all I need them to know. And that I'm not a jerk. That's all I need them to know. That's it. They don't have to say, I agree with you, but I want them to say, I could call her office. Yeah, I could do that. I understand what she does. So maybe if those roads aren't good in my town, I can call her. Yeah, you can. So it really is, the best way is when you're with people, when you are at a group, when you're going to a fish fry or a 4-H graduation, or you're at the fair, and whenever you can talk to people, I just keep saying, hi, I'm your state senator. I live up in Delta and I represent you in Madison.
It's also very interesting with television. And
Yeah.
so our last question is, how do you work to promote youth engagement in the political process?
We encourage as much as we can. One of the things that's hard for our district is that we're so far away from the capital that kids don't come down. So most of the grade schools in the southern half of the state, or even further, they all take a field trip at least one time in their school career, where they go to the Capitol and they see the Capitol and they meet senators and representatives. Kids up here don't have that. So I try very hard to get into as many classrooms in the 4th grade as I possibly can. And there's a lot of school districts up here, a lot of school districts. But I really, really try very hard. I try to go to events that are around things that the kids do, like 4-H is really huge up here. Service groups, there's a very active group that are involved in smoking cessation. It's funded by the American Lung Association and the state. And they do great programs up here. That's really motivated group of kids. I meet with them a lot. I go to concerts, and I like to go to vocal concerts and band concerts. Because if I go to sporting events, I'm supposed to pick a team, and I don't like to pick teams to win. So, but I just try to let them know. I try to get to know the music teachers, and so that I can eventually have rapport. Now, now it's at a point where at every school, I might know the STEM organizer at that school, and I might know there's a school in Superior where they're now doing the art and the journalism classes are put in one room. It's a huge, big, long room. So they do graphic design, they do photography, they do journalism, and it's all these kids. And there's about 40 of them, and they just mix and they go all over and learn the different equipment and design things. I know those people. So I can go pretty much to any school and I'll know something. I'll know one thing about something. One of the things that I do when they do come to Madison is I bring them all in my office and I'll make one of them come and sit in my chair at my desk. Or when we're on the floor, I make one of them, usually a girl, sit in my chair and say, you can have that job. You can work here. I just try to let them know, that we're just ordinary people. We're not from Mars, we're just people that I guess my turn, I'll go to Madison. And I try to let them know just how ordinary we are as people and how extraordinary they are, and they can do this job. They should, think of school boards and town boards and all the different things that ordinary people do. Well, they can start doing that too, and who knows where they'll end up.
That's really inspiring, and I thank you for doing that. That seems like a very fun experience for.
It is fun.
Great. So thank you so much for making it. That was our last question for the day.
Cool. Well, I'm very grateful that you gave me this time.
Great.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me.